Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. I'm Elijah, and that's the program that you listen to. And once again, I tell you I'm not Elijah because I named myself Elijah. By now you should know that I'm Elijah because the Lord changes people's name. And that's one of the many names that He has given to me. Enoch, Jubilee, and Hashem. Because I have to tell you about that. Read Hashem first, then Jubilee, then Enoch. And we don't get into Jubilee today. I'm getting all of them, really. Hashem, from the time we left the garden to win the promised land the first time. Jubilee, the prophecy, everything that was going to happen unto us. From the time we left the garden until we win the promised land the first time. Enoch, everything that happened to us from generation to generation. The prophet, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, prophecy, judgment, execution of righteous judgments. Gotta know your demons. Gotta know your demons, and they're hidden now. They full and infect. Okay. That's why one of the reasons why I'm here. Testament of the 12 patriarchs, to turn the hearts of the children back to the father, and father the hearts back unto the children. At least I come Christ or His Christ, say the Lord. Now, so you know who the fathers are. Now you know who the fathers are. So there's no excuse now. That's a message the Lord gave to me to give to people. So do your thing with that. And those books makes up the Holy Bible. They have other books too, but I'm just saying about those books. And of course, the Gnostic Gospels, Thomas, Mary, and John. All right. So now this is part 3 of the I Fly Away Lie. Part 3 of the I Fly Away Lie. Okay, we just had part, so we have part 3. Now, in part 3, we're in Malachi. So let's go to Malachi. So that we can start right there. We can start with Malachi. I know I have 2 dreams. Don't worry about the dreams. I tell you, don't worry about the dreams. I know I didn't tell you too many dreams in the last video, but usually I only tell you 2. So anyway, so we're in Malachi chapter 4. Behold, the day cometh, said the Lord. Behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, and the Lord of hosts that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you that fear the name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with the healing in His wings, and you shall go forth, grow up as calves of the stall, and you shall tread down the wicked, for there shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I do this, said the Lord of hosts. Remember ye the law of Moses my servant, which I command unto him in Horeb for all Israel, and the statutes with the statutes and judgment. I'll repeat that. Remember ye the law of Moses my servant, which I command unto him in Horeb for all Israel, with statutes and judgment. Behold, now did we say, behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. So now, no, come on. So now, that's what this is about. I'm Elijah, and who are the fathers? So he say fathers, see, you got an S on that. These are the fathers, the 12 patriarchs. So those are the fathers. You got Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. Issachar, Zebulun, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher, and Joseph and Benjamin. Those are the 12 fathers. That's where we come from. Those who we come from more than them. But we're just saying those who we personally come from those 12. That's where the 12 tribes come from. So you know that much. All right. So that's what he's talking about. And I am Elijah. And all I can do is warn you. See. So let's go for the warning. Let's go to, this is on this page too. You might can't see, you might pass it up. It's right there in the corner. See right there? Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 18. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 18. Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 18. Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 18. So let's go down. Ezekiel chapter 3. Then we go down to the 18th verse. All right, I'm going to tell you. All right. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 8. When I said, well, we start at verse 17. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. So, son of man, I have made thee a watchman to the house of Israel. Therefore, hear thee the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speaketh to warn the wicked from his wicked ways, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thy hand. So that's so you should know that. So you got to warn the wicked. Yet if thou warn the wicked, he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Again, when the righteous man do turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, I lay a stumbling block before him. He should die, because thou hast not given him warning. He should die in his sin, and his righteousness which he hath done should not be remembered. But his blood will I require at thy hand. Nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man, that is righteous, sin not and do not sin, and he shall surely live. But because he is warned also, thou hast delivered thy soul. So that's all I'm doing. God set me as the Lord God set me as one of the watchmen, and I'm telling you, this is your warning. All I can do is just warn you, tell you it's here. It's not coming. It's here. And all that is explained to you in the Apocrypha, the book of the Apocrypha. That's the book I show you. All that is explained to them. Now let's go back to Malachi. And we're going back to Malachi chapter 4. For the day shall come as an oven, all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubborn, and the day coming shall be burning them up. And the Lord of hosts shall lead them neither branch. So how is that possible? How is God going to send all that fire and you going to live? Okay, I already know. You see, I have a friend of mine, very good friend. He's a very good friend. But he won't read nothing but the Holy Bible. And I tried to explain to him, say, man, I tried to explain to him, say, bro, the Holy Bible is a reason and purpose for everything on the sun. And just because you read in the Holy Bible, that don't mean that that has been done. Because King Solomon told you everything that has been done has already been done before. So there's nothing, and he said there's nothing new under the sun. Let's read that first. Nothing new under the sun. Let's get that out. So we're going to say nothing new under the sun. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's see if it's going to go. Nah, we ain't going to do that. Under the sun. Let's put under the sun. See if we're going to get something off of that. Because all I can do is just tell it to you. Man, can I tell it to you? That's all I can do. All right. All right. Oh, man. Let's see. So that's... I'm trying to find out where it started at. Okay, you see, Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9. Things that has been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. So everything, and there's anything where it may be said, see, this is new. It has been already of old time, which was before us, which was before us. There's no remembrance of former things, neither should there be any remembrance of things that are to come to those that should come after. So there's nothing new, there's no new thing under the sun. So now we established that. Now we're going back to the fire. Let's see, let's turn back how God gonna do that. How the Lord, and so I mean, if He gonna do it, it's already been done before. Let's see. Um, um, let me see. Let's see. Let's see if they got that now. They ain't got that. All right. Wait a minute. Fire walker. Fire walking. Let's see what we come up with that. All right, Daniel. Daniel chapter 3. Now this bear with me. Daniel chapter 3. And he asked and said, Lo, I see 4 men walking in the midst. So you know the story of the 3 little Hebrew brothers. Shadrach, no, I don't like to say it, but that's Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But uh, Ananias, Ezra, and Mishael, that was their name. All right. So they call it Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And he was going to fall down and these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound in the midst of the burning fire. And Nebuchadnezzar came was astounded, and rose up in haste, and spake and said unto his counselor, Did we cast 3 men bound in the midst of fire? And they asked and said unto the king, True, O king. Then he answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the 4 look like the Son of God. So we know that you can be cast down in the fire, and no burn or no hurt can come to you. But guys, that had to come from somewhere else. Oh yeah, that had to come from somewhere else. Now I'm just telling you that because we're gonna go over that, and I'm gonna run through that too. I'm gonna unfold that mystery to you, because it is a mystery, and Lord God gave me the answer to that mystery. So I tell you, you gotta go get those books and read them, and God gonna reveal those things. All right, let's see what. So he said, You should tread down the wicked, for there should be ashes under the sole of your feet, and the day that I shall do this, said the Lord of hosts. So I was watching the Apocalypse, and man, when they show the volcanoes go off and burning people quickly, and it be like ash, bro. All right, so let's go to Enoch, the book of Enoch. Book of Enoch. And when we're in the book of Enoch, we're going to go to, man, I can't think of the chapter and the verse right now. I can't think of the chapter and the verse. But I know it's in the book of Hashir. It's in the book of Hashir. I know it that much. All right, it's in the book of Hashir. Let me see. See where it's found. You say, well, you're not prepared again. No, it's not. I had prepared something for you. But what I prepared and what the Lord God wants you to know are 2 different things. They are 2 different things. All right. All right. So we know that Abraham, we know that Father Abraham, Father Abram, as it's called, we know that Father Abram, we know of Father Abram. We know this thing. We know that he wouldn't serve their gods. We know that he would not serve their gods. Nor would he bid down to, nor would he do anything for them, because he said he wouldn't serve them. All right. So that's what he wouldn't serve. See, but anyway, so what Abram did when he came back to the house, he was a man then. He went and broke up all of his father's gods. He broke them all up. You'll find that in chapter 11 of the book of Hashir. Chapter 11 of the book of Hashir. So as he destroyed all his gods, so Terah, his father, went back and told Nimrod what he had did. So, all right. He had told him, Nimrod, so that's in here we go. So you know about the 10 days. Lord God said, let's see. Let's see, 10 days. Let me find that for you. Because, I say cause. Let me say it now. Cause. That's my, that's how we, people, that's how we speak. Cause. We don't say because. We leave all the be off. 10 days. Let's put in 10 days. All right, 10 days. So, I'm just trying to establish things. I'm gonna get into the scripture. We're just trying to establish these certain things we are trying to do. Um, man, let's see, 10 days. Let's see. All right, prison. See? All right, so Lord God, Jesus told them. This is what Jesus said. Jesus told them. Let's see, I'm gonna find out. St. Matthew chapter 5, verse 25. Agree with thine adversary while thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Verily I say, thou shalt no means come out thence till thou hast paid the utmost farthing. So you're gonna pay a price for that. Okay. All right. Then he said. Then we go to Revelation chapter 2, the second chapter of Revelation. Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. Fear not of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. But thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So be thou faithful. Say, fear not of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and you shall be and shall have tribulation 10 days. But thou be faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So now, there's a reason and purpose for everything under the sun. That's what we're trying to establish. There's a reason and purpose for everything under the sun. So now let's get to it. This is where it's a bit. So we're going to the book of Jasher, J-A-S-H-E-R, and we're going to start at chapter 12. All right. Now, Terah had went and told, because he was upset and mad because Abram had destroyed all them gods and all those idols. As we said, there was demons. They really were. And he had destroyed them. And so when he destroyed them, he went and told Nimrod. And Nimrod handed out justice and everything was supposed to be. But that was the evil and wicked stuff. So let's go chapter 12. All right. When the king heard the words of Abraham, ordered him to be put into prison. Wait a minute. All right. When the king heard the words of Abraham, he ordered him to be put into prison. And Abraham was 10 days in prison. 10 days in prison. And at the end of the 10 days, the king ordered that all the kings and princes, governors of different provinces, and the sages should come before him, that they said before him. Abram was still in the house of confinement. Okay. So that's why first 10 days. That's where 10 days come from. That's why the Lord God said 10 days. When the king heard the words of Abram, ordered him to be put in prison. Abram was 10 days in prison. That's where the Lord God get 10 days from. There's a reason and purpose for everything under the sun. And so that's what I'm telling you. That's where 10 days come from. All right. All right. All right. The king said to the prince sages, you have heard what Abram, the son of Terah, has done to his father. Thus he done to him, and ordered him to be brought before me. And thus has he spoken, and the heart did not misgive him, neither did he stir up in my presence. And behold, now he is confined in prison. Therefore decide what judgment is due to the man who reviled the king, and who spoke and did all these things that you heard. Okay, now let's get to something else. Why Jesus was hung on a tree. And they answered the king, saying, the man who reviles the king should be hanged on a tree. But having done all the things that he said, having despised our God, he must therefore be burned to death. For this is the law in this matter. So two things happen. That's verse 5, chapter 12, verse 5. You got the 10 days, chapter 12. You have the 10 days. Then you have to hang on a tree. That was what they did. That's what the Jews did to Jesus. Because Jesus told them about themselves, right? He told them about them even wicked gods they were serving. They were serving God. You know that because they went in that temple and told all that up. Come on, man. There's a reason, purpose for everything in the sun. So then they said he should be burned to death, like the three Hebrew brothers got that from this. All right. If it pleased the king to do this order, the servant had a fire both night and day in the brick furnace, and then we will cast this man into it. And the king did so, and he commanded the servant that they should prepare fire for 3 days and 3 nights in the king's furnace. So who stayed in the, that's another one. 3 days and 3 nights. How long did Lord God stay in the ground? 3 days and 3 nights, man. This is a Cassidy, and the king ordered them to take Abram from prison and bring him out and be burned. Okay, now this is what they did to us during when they used to hang. People act like they distorted, gathering around the hangings when they was hanging black people. Strange fruit in those trees, and they was hanging us in the tree. Let's go. Let's keep reading. And all the king's servants, princes, lords, governors, judges, and all inhabitants of the land, about 900,000 men stood opposite of the furnace to see Abram, right? To see him. So they've been gathering there. And all the women and little ones crowded on the roofs of towers to see what's going on with Abram. And they stood together at a distance, and there was not a man left that did not come that day to behold the scene. That's right. Okay. When Abram was come, the counselor of the king, the sage, said, Abram, they cried out to the king, saying, Our sovereign Lord, certainly this man whom we know have been the child where the birth of the great star swallowed the four stars, which was declared in the king 50 years ago. 50 years ago, when you read the book, that's what happened. When those men came out and they told it was prophesied, well, he thought it was Abram, which really was prophesied of somebody else. But anyway, so that's what that was going to come from Abram's seed. So that was the prophecy. But it hadn't happened yet. That was part of it. All right. So the king heard the words, greatly angered, ordered Terah to be brought before him. And the king said, Have you heard the counselor has spoken? Now tell me truly, how did you, if you shall speak the truth, you shall be acquitted. Seeing the king anger so wrath and ablaze, Terah said, My lord the king, you have heard the truth, and what sage has spoken is right. And the king said, How could you do this thing and to go contrary to my orders and give me a child that you did not begot and to take value from him? And Terah answered, Because my tender feeling was decided for my son. At that time I took the son of my handmaid and I brought him to the king. That's another video. And the king said, Who advised you to do this? Tell me, and hide not anything from me, then you should not die. Okay. And Terah was greatly terrified in the presence of the king. And it was Haran, his eldest son, who advised me to do that. We told it. And Haran in those days that Abraham was born was 32 years old. He was 32 years old. There was no young man, but about that, they was young. And Haran did not advise the father to do anything. Advise the fathers to do anything. For Terah said to the king, order him to be delivered a soul from the king, for he feared greatly. For the king said, Terah, Haran, your son who advised you to do this shall die through the fire with Abraham. For the sentence of death is upon him, having rebelled against the king to desire to do this thing. Okay. So Lord God said that was in the heart, proceeded out of the mouth, and defiles a man. False witness, foolishness, pride, blasphemy, blasphemers, Evil eye, evil way, evil thoughts, these things coming to sin, deceitfulness, and wickedness. So now, false witness. False witness, that came out of Aaron's mouth. False witness came out of his mouth. You know who else did that? Who else? Jezebel. Come on, man. Simple. All right. And heard, behold, now he sees Abraham on account these things. Abraham did, and it should come to pass, Abraham prevail over the king, I will follow him. But if the king prevail, I will go after the king. So when Terah had spoken this to the king concerning Haran his son, the king ordered Haran to be seized with Abram. And they brought them both, Abram and Haran his brother, Haran. And they cast them into the fire, and all the inhabitants of the land, the king served the princes, and all the women, little ones, was there standing above them that day. Let me stop this. First of all, they've been trying to kill us because we are that special plant, of that special tree, of that special root. So we know that much. But in this also, just telling you how far that goes back. Then also I read to you how they've been gathered. Every time there was a hanging, like you seen, I don't see them in the movies, where all the people gather around and see a black man hanging. They've been doing that, man, and they didn't just start burning a black man. They didn't just start. See, that go all the way back to Nimrod did. So all that stuff you trace back to Nimrod. I'm not finished with this, but of course you know how 45 minutes go by. But I'm not rushing, If I have to make another video, then I'll make another video. But I'm not rushing. All right. And the king's servant took Abraham his brother and stripped them of their clothes, except in their lower garments which were on them. And they bound their hands and feet with the linen cords, and the servant of the king lifted them up and cast them both into the furnace. And the Lord loved Abraham, and the Lord loved Abraham and held compassion over him. And the Lord came down to deliver Abraham from the fire, and he was not burned. See, the three little Hebrew boys knew. That's why they read this. They knew about Father Abraham. They knew. They know that they're serving the Lord God and what the Lord God do. So that's why Solomon told you there's no new thing under the sun. That's why he was telling you those things. Man, come on, bro. All right. Not because the three little Hebrew brothers was after Solomon, but I'm not just talking about that. Other things also. All right. So, but all the cords which bound him were burned, while Abraham remained and walked about in the fire. Haran died when they had cast him into fire and had burned to ashes, for his heart was not perfect with the Lord. And those men were cast into the fire. The flame of the fire spread over them, and they burned. 12 of them died. All of them died, just like with the Hebrew boy. Fire jumped out. Okay? But what I'm trying to show you, when the Lord come back and you pure in heart, they can burn and do everything. What? That ain't gonna happen. See that young guy? I'm telling you his name again. Yahim, children of Israel. See, I want to tell you, bro, that young man, he knows, but he don't know the wickedness in it and some finite stuff of it, of that, what he know. And what he's just trying to tell you, how powerful we are. Man. See, he was talking about the gamma rays and stuff like that. He like I said, he has some of it, he don't have it all. But nothing gonna well, we're gonna be changed. When the Lord God say you're gonna be changed in a twinkling of an eye, that's what that means. You're gonna be changed. And nothing gonna be able to kill you or destroy you. And you're gonna live 100 years. After 100 years over, then you're gonna do whatever. But anyway, so that's what he was talking about. Abram walked in the midst of the fire 3 days and 3 nights. So there you go, 3 days and 3 nights. And all the servants of the king saw him walking in the fire, and they came and told the king, saying, Behold, we have seen Abram walking about in the midst of the fire, and even the lower garment which are on him are not burned, but the cord which was his hand bound and burned. When the king heard these words, his heart fainted and would not believe them. So he sent a faithful prince to see the matter, and they went and saw it and told the king. The king rose to go to see it, and he saw Abram walking to and fro in the midst of fire, and saw Haran's body burnt, and the king wondered greatly. And the king ordered Abram to be taken from the fire, and served approached him to take them, and they could not, for the fire around about him, the flame was ascending towards them from the furnace. And the king's servant fled from him, and the king rebuked them, saying, make haste and bring Abram out of that fire, that you should not die. The servant of the king again approached King Abram out, and the fire came on them and burned their faces, so that the 8 of them died. And when the king saw his servant could not approach the fire would burn them, the king called to Abram, O servant of God, who is in heaven, go forth in the midst of the fire and come here before it. And Abraham listened to the voice of the king and went forth, and the fire came and stood. Went forth from the fire, it came and stood before the king. All right, so there's more to that, but I'm not going. And Abram came out, and all the servants saw Abram come before the king, and his lower garment on him was not burned, but the cord which was bound on was burned. And the king said to Abram, how is that you will not burn the fire? And Abraham said to the king, the God of heaven and earth, in whom I trust, and who has all in his power, he delivered me from the fire into which you did cast me. And Haran the brother was burned to ash, and they sought for his body, and they found it consumed. Haran was 82 years old when he died in that fire chasm. And the king, princes, and the inhabitants of the land, seeing that Abram was delivered from fire, came and bowed down before Abram. And Abram said to them, do not bow down to me, but bow down to God of the world, who made you, and serve him, and go in his ways. For he is whom delivered me from out of this fire, and is he who created the souls and the spirits of all men, and formed man in the mother's womb, and brought him forth into the world. It is he whom you will deliver those who trust in him from all pain. Those who trust with him from all pain. Okay, let's see. Wait a minute. The thing seemed very wonderful in the eyes of the king prince, and Abram was saved from the fire that Haran was born. And the king gave Abram many presents, and gave him 2 head servants from the king's house. The name of one was Onah, and the other name was Eleazar. So that's now you know where you got Eleazar from. All right. And all the king prince gave Abram many gifts of silver and gold and pearl, and the king and his prince sent him away and went in peace. And Abram went forth from the king. Many kings served following him, about 300 men jarring him. So now again, you know where the Jews came from. Come on, man. The people come on. God made Abram rich and made them people give him all that, servants and everything. So now you know where the Jews, I keep telling you, bro, those people that said, and those not really Jews. Those who followed Abram served him. They didn't serve no gold. Every time you look around, the people over there asking for money, want somebody to give something to them, but what? To enrich them. And when they're supposed to be serving God, man. Man, all that falseness, man, all that falseness. But anyway, I digress. So let's go. Nimrod. That's where we're going there. We're going to Nimrod right there. The reason why I want to go to Nimrod, because I want you to know who Nimrod is. And right now, all them gods and everything they serve come from Nimrod, man. That come from Nimrod. Let's go. We're going to chapter 7. Chapter 7 and verse 46. Verse 46. Verse 4. And all the earth was of one tone, the words of union. But Nimrod did not go in the ways of the Lord. He was more wicked than all the men that were before him. from the days of the flood until those days. I'm going to tell you again. In all the earth there was one tongue and words of union. But Nimrod did not go in the ways of the Lord. He was more wicked than all the men that were before him from the days of the flood until those days. Nimrod. On the other side of the flood he was wicked, and on this side of the flood he was wicked. That was a wicked man. Oh yeah. Very wicked man. No wickeder than Nimrod. Oh yeah. And so that's who God, and that's where that phrase goes. And then when you go down to the 48, everyone that heard the acts of Mardon, the son of Nimrod, would say concerning him, from the wicked goes forth wickedness. Therefore it became a proverb in the whole earth, saying, from the wicked goes forth wickedness, and it was current in the words of men from that day to this time. It's the same thing. That's right. Terah, the son of Nahor, the prince of Nimrod, hosts. So, see, all those, there was kin. All those people was kin, man. But anyway, so now, that's a reason and purpose. That's the reason and purpose I established that. To let you know there is nothing new under the sun. Now, we're in part 3 of the I fly away doctrine. That's where we at. So we established those things. I want you to know what those things are, so you can find those things and why those things came about. Now, give me a second. I know I got dreams for you, but not yet. Okay, so let me gather. So now we got to find out if you ever listen to the book of Adam and Eve. Listen to the book of Adam and Eve. So we listen to that book of Adam and Eve, and they tell you a lot of information in Adam and Eve, and that's what we're supposed to be getting back. Let me see if we can find that right fast. Oh man, I know if you listen to my other videos, I already told you about the Lord God coming and take you to His holy mountain. That's what He says. He said, "I'm coming to take you to my holy mountain." Oh, I didn't see what I have seen. All right, holy mountain. Let's put it on there. Holy mountain. Let me see. All right. Okay. All right. Let me see. All right. We're going to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 9. They shall not hurt and destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of knowledge of the Lord as the water cover the sea. So the Lord keep coming back, and He's taking you to His holy mountain. All right. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 29. You shall have a song at night, a holy, what else? Oh, man. Solar, tongue-tied now. Solemnity is kept. And the gladness of heart when one's goes with a pipe to come into the mountain of the Lord, the mighty one of Israel. Solemnity. And then when I get along, my tongue get untied, I'm going to pronounce the word so fast. So, but anyway, so the mountain, the Holy One of the mountain. So he said, as one go with pipe to come into the mountain of the Lord, the God of Israel. All right. So that's where God come and take you to His holy mountain. Well, He got more than that. Go to Isaiah chapter 56 and verse 7. Even them I will bring to my holy mountain to make them joyful in my house of prayer. The burnt offering and sacrifice should be acceptable on my altar. For my house should be called a house of prayer for all people. So there you go again. This holy mountain. All right. All right. 57. Isaiah chapter 57, 13. When thou cry, let the companies deliver them. Solemnity. When thou, that's the running joke, solemnity. When thou cries, let the companies deliver thee. But the wind shall carry them all away. Vanity shall take them. But he that putteth his trust in me shall possess the land, shall inherit my holy mountain. Come on, man. Come on, bro. God say, what are you doing? Come to take you to his holy mountain. All right, let's go. Isaiah 65 and up. But ye are, for they are not forsaken, Lord. They forget my holy mountain that prepare a table for the two first. So now you talk about those in those church houses. All right. Then Isaiah 65, how they gonna lay it down. All right. Isaiah chapter 66 and 20. 66 and 20. 66 and 20. And they bring all your brothers for an offering to the Lord out of all nations upon horses and chariots and litters upon mules and upon swift beasts to my holy mountain Jerusalem, say the Lord, as the children of Israel bring offering and clean vessels to the house of the Lord. Come on, man. Come on, man. So, all right. Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 40. For in my holy mountain, the mountain of height of Israel, said the Lord, there should the house of Israel, all of them in the land, serve me. There will I accept them, and there will I acquire offering of the first fruit of the obligation with all your holy things. So that's where we're going. Lord come back and take us to his holy mountain. And I didn't went over through all that. I didn't went through all the This is the Lord's house upon the top of the mountain with the whole limit there around about shall be most holy, because there's the Lord. That's Ezekiel chapter 43. Ezekiel chapter 43. So go read those books and find out. That's what the Lord God said. He said he's coming to take it back to his holy mountain. Now we go into the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha. Don't worry. Before the video, I'll get to the dreams. All right, the Apocrypha, and we're going to chapter 7, the Apocrypha, chapter 7. You say, when I had made the end of speaking those words, there sent unto me an angel which had been sent to me the night afore. And he said unto me, Up, Esdras, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I say, Speak on, my God. Then he said unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Okay. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, could not come into the broad. There also another thing, a city is built and set upon a broad field, and is full of good things. The entrance therefore is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. So you got fire on the right and water on the left, and it's a narrow path. And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be one man to go there at once. If this city now was given unto a man for inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? And I said, It is so. And Lord then said unto me, Even so is Israel's portion. You see, he said, It is so, Lord. This he said unto me, Even so also is Israel's portion. Because for their sake I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then it was decreed that now is done. Then was the entrance of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail, and of but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. For the entrance of the elder world was wide and sure, and brought immoral fruit. For then they that live labor not to enter there straight, and vain things that came, neither receive those that are laid up for them. All right. If them they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they could never receive those that are laid up for them. That's 45 minutes up, but keep going. For now, therefore, why disquietest thou thyself, seeing that thou but a corrupt man, and why art thou moved, whereas thou art but mortal? Why hast thou not considered thy mind these things that is to come, rather than that what is present? Then the answer say, O Lord, thou bearest rule, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but they, the ungodly, should perish. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, and hope for why? For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight thing, and yet should not see the why. And he said unto me, and we see, he said unto me, there is no judge above God, and none that have understanding above the highest. For there be many that perish in life because they despise the law of God that is before them. For God hath given straight commandments to such as came, that they should do to live, even as they came, what should observe and avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him, and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways. But his law have they despised, and denied his covenants, and his statutes have they not been faithful, and have not performed his works. And therefore, elders, for the empty are the empty things, for they full are the full things. Behold, the time should come that these tokens, which I have told thee, shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and coming forth shall be seen, that now is withdrawn from the earth. And whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evil shall see my wonders. Okay? Whoever shall see his wonders. For my son Jesus shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years. 400 years. Let me just read it to you again. For my son Jesus shall be revealed with those revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice with him within 400 years. So that's the 400 years. After these years shall my son Christ die, and all men that have life. And the world shall be turned into the old silent 7 days, like in a former judgment, so that no man shall remain. And after 7 days the world that yet awaketh not shall be raised up, and that should not die, that is corrupt. And that should die, that is corrupt. All right. After 7 days the world that yet awaketh not shall be raised up, and that should die, that is corrupt. And the earth shall restore those that are asleep in her. That's the resurrection. So shall the dust of those that dwell in silence, and the secret places should deliver those souls that were committed unto them. And the Most High shall appear upon the seat of judgment, and the misery shall pass away, and the long suffering shall have an end. But judgment only shall remain, truth shall stand, and faith shall wax strong, and the work shall follow, and the reward shall be showed, and the good deeds shall be of force, and the wicked deeds shall bear no rule. Then said I, Abraham prayed first for the Sodomites, and Moses for the father's sin in the wilderness, and Jesus after him for Israel in the time of Achan, and Samuel and David for the destruction, and Solomon for them that should come to the sanctuary. What? And healest for those that receive rain, and for the day that might live. And what? Ezekiel for the people in the time of what? All right, Sennacherib, and many for many. Even now, seeing corruption and grown up, the wickedness increased, and the righteous have prayed for the ungodly. Wherefore shall it not so? Wherefore shall it not be so now also? And he answered and said, this present life is not the life where much glory do abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past, intemperance is at an end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that have gotten a victory, nor to oppress him that have gotten a victory. I'm not stopping. This is going to be a long video. It don't have to be a long video. All right. We'll have part 3. So we're going to stop. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor oppress him that have gotten the victory. So we'll stop at 45. All right. So those dreams, let me see. So those I know I gave you some dreams. I know I did. I know I gave you some dreams. I know I have given you some dreams. All right. This dream. All right. They'll read this dream to you. Destruction was everywhere. These began to come down and try to destroy us. Destruction was everywhere. These beings came down and tried to destroy us. I was with a young lady. I thought it was my daughter. As the winged man tried to destroy me, and to touch him, and made me weak as I touched him. And I called, so they had a winged man, and he touched me, and I touched him, and he made me weak. And I called on the name of Jesus. That's one of the dreams. So that was a dream. I'm going to repeat it. Destruction was everywhere. These beings came down and they tried to destroy us. I was with a young lady. I thought it was daughter, as a daughter. And as the winged man, they tried to destroy me. It touched him and made him weak. I touched him and made him weak. As I touched him, I called on the name of the Lord. So he tried to destroy me, touch me, a winged creature. And I called on the name of the Lord, and I made him weak. So this is not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, say the Lord of hosts. And this is part 2. I fly away live, and I got to have a part 3. So not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, say the Lord of hosts. I'm Elijah, and next time.